What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for PlayPicks.com. Going to talk a little Sunday night football, a very important Sunday night football game tonight between the Vikings and the Bears. Vikings heading to Chicago to take on their division rival, which should be a very, very good one. Guys, while you're here, before we get started, as always, please click that little subscribe button down below. Really could use this, trying to get over 1,000 subscribers on the channel here. Hashtag keep Matt employed. I know you want to keep me employed, keep making videos here. So you can do your part. Would really appreciate that. And also hit that little thumbs up button. Could use the little like on the video as well. Lets people know you enjoy what we are doing here. And what we are trying to do here is help everybody make a little bit of money, or at least along the way, confirm your bias. You might be watching this video coming in knowing you want to bet the Vikings or want to bet the Bears, and something that I say along the way might help you, might convince you one way or the other, and hopefully that works out as well. All we're trying to do is provide the best information and hopefully lead you to some sort of profit on this game tonight. All right, guys, so look, temperatures, it's Chicago, right? Temperature's going to be in the mid-20s in this thing, about a 10-mile-per-hour wind. So, again, the wind's not going to really be a factor, but, again, very, very cold. But it is Minnesota, so you've got these Minnesota guys that are used to the cold as well. Even though they play in a dome, I'm sure that they have an outside practice field for whenever they have to travel into terrible conditions and stuff like that. So I think they will be doing that. Also, if you want to get in any of our best bonuses, of course, always go to playpicks.com/bonus, bonus, or head to dkpicks.com, just dkpicks.com. That'll give you the best DraftKings offer that we've got, $25 absolutely free at the sportsbook over there. Vikings 5-3-1 coming off of their bye into this one, sitting right behind the Bears here in the NFC North. So a huge, huge, huge game for both of these teams. Obviously, the Bears sitting at 6-3. They're sitting atop that NFC North right now, riding a 3-game win streak. But here's the key, if this has anything to do with how you want to kind of handicap this game. On a 3-game win streak, covering the spread in all 3 of those games, but those games are the Jets, Bills, and Lions. So of their 3 losses that they have so far this year, only one of those was at home. That was to the Patriots. So really nothing to hang your head about there. Whenever you look at that, I mean, Patriots obviously a good team, so losing to them at home, not a big deal there. Taking a look at the lines here in this game, pretty much 2.5 across the board here everywhere you look. That is starting to get pressed a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see this number between now and the time this thing kicks off kind of bobble all over the place. I mean, I've seen 3s, I've seen 2s even for a short minute. So I think that this number could get all kinds of wacky between now and kickoff, depending on how many people are chasing their bets of the day. Really, how the rest of Sunday goes might be how this line ends up going, because, again, you know, it's the Sunday night football. It's the chase game. If you had a bad day, you're chasing. If you had even if you had a good day, maybe you have a little bit extra money that you want to bet on the evening game here. So always a game with a lot of handle, always a game with some interesting line movements and whatnot. As of this Sunday morning, taping this very early Sunday morning, about 67% of the bets and 72% of the money on the Vikings at plus 2.5 in this game. 54% of the bets are on the over, but 71% of the money is on the under in this one. So again, the people making the real big bets are the people betting the under in this thing. So a bunch of smaller bets on the over, as we see all the time. People like to bet the over. They want to see points. They hate to root for a defensive struggle. So, but again, 71% of the money is on the under in this one. So much, much bigger bets coming in on the under in this thing. As we look at kind of the health of these teams here, of course, Dalvin Cook is back for the Vikings here after missing several games. He's been back and featured here. One of the biggest things here is Stephon Diggs is going to be back for this game, for this team as well. The thing about Stephon Diggs, we take a look down here, you know, Stephon Diggs, Thielen, as he puts, combined for 53% of the targets and 67% of the Vikings air yards, as you can see right here in the article that Nate writes up. It is just huge to have Steph Diggs back in there. I mean, you have a guy in Adam Thielen that started off the year with 8 straight 100-yard games. Steph Diggs has to sit for a rib injury, and then Adam Thielen gets bottled up. Taking nothing away from Adam Thielen whatsoever, but what we have to understand here is he has a ton of his success because Diggs is also out on the field, because they have to account for what Diggs can do. So getting him back is huge. Also, Xavier Rhodes expected to play. He has been dealing with a little bit of an ankle injury, but he is expected to play in that secondary for the Vikings, which is also big. Bears are pretty healthy. No real injuries to talk about on the Bears side of the ball there really at all. Taking a look at how we're kind of breaking down, and again, you can go to Play Picks and you can read the whole breakdown here from Nate. He just really does an overall breakdown of the whole game. Does give a pick at the end, but more about just the breakdown of the game and everything. Looking at this Vikings offense, they're 12th in points per game, 18th in red zone touchdown percentage, 30th in rush percentage. So that lets you know this Vikings team puts the ball in the air a ton. With that, of course, comes that they're 5th in the league in pass attempts and 3rd in pass percentage. So this is a team that loves to pass the ball. And again, we just talked about when you have Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, it makes a lot of sense as to why you want to throw the ball, right? So that's kind of how we're looking at this offense here. Kirk Cousins has not thrown more than 1 interception in a game this year, but he has fumbled the ball 8 times, and he's lost 6 of those fumbles actually. So that might not play so well with a guy like Khalil Mack, because Khalil Mack kind of known for doing those strip sacks and whatnot. So something certainly to consider there as well. The one thing about Cousins that he does very, very well, though, I do expect Chicago to get some pressure on him here for sure. However, he is actually really good under pressure, has the best completion percentage of any quarterback in the league under pressure. So far this season, Kirk Cousins, of course, been around the block and can certainly handle that pressure. On the Bears side here, they, as you can see in the article, they got Allen Robinson back. He had to sit out a game, but he was able to come back last game. Will be playing this game for them as well. So having him in there is very, very big for this team. 21st in points per game, 12th in red zone touchdown percentage. So again, scoring the majority of the time when they get down there, they're scoring touchdowns, they're not kicking field goals. And 6th in rush percentage, 23rd in pass attempts. So they would prefer to be a little bit more run heavy. That's where they would prefer to play. Of course, sometimes they've gotten behind and sometimes they just found a ton of success through the air. And that's, you look at some of these blow up games for Mitch Trubisky. So would prefer to run. Obviously, they run the 6th most of any team in the league. If you're wondering about pace, if you're wondering about kind of the total in this thing and where the pace might be, Vikings 9th in pace, Chicago 28th in pace. Put those two together, you basically have a neutral game here. So I don't think it's going to be much faster or much slower. You got a fast team, you got a slow team. Pretty much neutralizes everything right there. So pretty much going to have a pace neutral whenever it comes down to this thing. The real thing here is these two defenses, right? And this is what it's going to come down to, I believe, in this, and how you believe, and I believe how you feel these defenses are going to have an impact. It's going to be how you feel like you need to bet this game. But when you go through these statistics here, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy when we take a look at these things. I mean, Vikings are 7th overall DVOA. They're ranked 5th by Pro Football Focus. The Bears, 1st overall DVOA. They are ranked 1st by Pro Football Focus. The Bears defense is actually 2nd in the league with 24 takeaways, tons of takeaways, which has been huge for this team. You got Thielen and Diggs, who are certainly going to have their hands full in that secondary. They've got Kyle Fuller, they got Prince of Mukamara, they've got Bryce Callahan, all guys playing well in that secondary. So it's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination for the wideouts there for the Vikings. But look at these two defenses, right? So we mentioned about where they are overall and where Pro Football Focus ranks them. The Vikings, 5th in yards per game allowed. The Bears, 4th in yards per game allowed. Pro Football Focus ranks these rush defenses. The Vikings, 2nd overall. The Bears, 1st overall. Rushing yards per game, the Vikings give up 3rd fewest. The Bears give up the 2nd fewest. Rushing yards per attempt, Vikings give up the 4th fewest. The Bears give up the fewest. I mean, these two defenses, both huge. Vikings actually grade out a little bit better with the pass rush, according to Pro Football Focus. But of course, we know what Khalil Mack can do on the Bears side. Both good against basically every single position. And it is going to be a struggle, I think, for both of these offenses here when it comes down to, really being able to light up the scoreboard here. I mean, again, that probably has a lot to do with the fact with those statistics that I just read right there as to how good these defenses are, as to why we're looking at a 45.5 point total here. And we just said that 71% of the money is on the under in this thing because it's just one of the things where I think that the Bears and the Vikings are both going to play really stout, solid defenses. I mean, interdivisional rivals. They know each other pretty well. So I'm probably going to avoid the total altogether, actually, in this thing. So down here to the picks, and let's take a look at kind of how we're at kind of how we're looking to do this thing here. Look, the Bears have 6 wins, but let's look at those wins. Okay. It's the Seahawks, it's the Cardinals, it's the Bucks, it's the Jets, it's the Bills, and it's the Lions. Not a single one of those teams has a winning record. There's 500 teams in there, but like there's not a single one of them has a winning record as we sit here in week 11 of the NFL. Trubisky went crazy against the Bucks, the Lions, and the Dolphins. He had 12 touchdowns in those 3 games combined. Over 300 yards in each one of those. Well, where do those defenses rank? DVOA, like whenever you look at the big picture here, the Bucks are 31st, the Lions are 30th, and the Dolphins are 23rd. So he had 3 huge games against 3 of the worst defenses in the entire league. The other 6 games, he had 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in the other 6 games so far this season. So Vikings coming off of a bye, had an extra week to prepare here, an extra week to get healthy. Of course, Stephon Diggs needing that week to get those ribs healthy. He's good to go here, not even on the injury report. Bears obviously have a good defense, but outside of the Packers in week 1, and even then, right? I mean, even with the Packers, I don't know if you could consider them having a true, real 1-2 punch, right? So any team that they play, they've not seen a 1-2 punch like Thielen and Diggs this entire season, this Bears team. Nothing even close. So I think whenever you really kind of break this down, this is going to be the toughest matchup from a pass perspective that the Bears have played by this season by far. They did play the Patriots, but again, you know how the Patriots do. They'll throw the backs, they'll throw the tight ends, they just do whatever they have to do to win. This is not one of those things where they have like 2 elite receivers like you have here with this Vikings team. And look, we're looking at a 2.5 point spread here. So could this thing come down to a field goal? If you're looking even at special teams here, the Vikings kicked their kicker to the curb and took Dan Bailey, one of the most accurate kickers in all of NFL history. Then you have Cody Parkey on the other side for the Bears. So far this season, 13 of 18, 4 of those misses, 4 of his 5 misses have come inside 49 yards. And I mean, if you know NFL kickers now, I mean, they're blasting kicks from all over the place. He's missing kicks from inside of 49 yards. Cody Parkey's also missed 2 extra points so far this year as well, if that could factor into how you think that this might go. In a game so evenly matched, guys, I'm just going to take the points here in the more experienced quarterback. I'm going to take the Vikings and the points at +2.5. To be perfectly honest with you, this has also been a big part of a lot of teasers that I have so far here on Sunday. We've talked time and time again, if you've watched these videos, about the 1.5s, the 2s, and the 2.5s, being able to tease those up. You get through the 3 and through the 7, so you get through 2 different key numbers here. This is a game I think that the Vikings could win outright. That said, again, I just have always played these. I've always played these 1.5, 2s, and 2.5 point teasers. And getting those up to the 7.5s, the 8s, and the 8.5s. And I'm not going to stop now. It's been very profitable for me, so I'm going to continue going there. Nate likes Chicago. I think there are certain reasons that you could certainly go Chicago. Obviously, they are at home here. We talked about the weather. I understand that the team is from Minnesota, but the Bears are going to be much more used to it. Minnesota plays in a dome. The Bears are used to the harsh conditions and things like that. I mean, there are reasons I think to lean to the Bears if you want to go that direction. Just for me, I'm going to take the points with a more experienced quarterback with an offense that I think that this Bears team hasn't quite seen yet so far this season that can certainly do some damage. And I'm just going to be leaning that way. Of course, as always, with some of these sports books that we've got, head to playpicks.com/bonus. You're going to be able to get all the best bonus things that we've got out there. You got $25 absolutely free at DraftKings Sportsbook. So head to dkpicks.com for that. But you can see some of these other ones that we've got. I mean, Vikings +2.5 and the over is +290 over at FanDuel Sportsbook. If you think that there's going to be, some scoring in this game, if you think they're going to be able to get at each other. One of the other things up here over at BetStars. So if you have Cousins going for 300, Thielen scores, and the Vikings win, it's +1100. Well, I guess it depends on how you think that this Vikings team is going to play, because, I mean, at the end of the day, if the Vikings win, I mean, all of those things could be very likely, right? I mean, that's a very correlated odds boost that they're calling them over there at BetStars here. But Cousins 300+, Thielen touchdown, and the Vikings win +1100. You'd have to think if Cousins goes for 300 and Adam Thielen scores a touchdown, most likely the Vikings are going to win. So, and you could even reverse engineer that. If the Vikings win, Is it very likely that Adam Thielen scores a touchdown? Probably. And then the Cousins 300 yards is kind of the wild card there. But again, just some of these fun odds boost things that these books over there in New Jersey are doing. Always something that we're looking at to take advantage of. And it's just a little bit of fun to bet those things. Guys, thanks for watching the video. Please hit the subscribe button down below. Please hit the like button. Really, really, really appreciate that. And again, head to DK Picks for the free $25. Head to playpicks.com/bonus for all of our best bonus offers. And we will see you guys here for Monday Night Football. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. While you're here, hit that subscribe button right down below. Make sure you never miss a video. When you get done doing that, please head to playpicks.com/bonus for the very best deposit bonus and free money offers on the internet.